Hello everyone and welcome to a new video dedicated to our beloved Snoopy and the world of Peanuts. Today we analyze a Peanuts strip published on October 27, 1950. In this cartoon, Schulz introduces us to Charlie Brown and Shermy, intent on discussing a scientific topic with the typical naive and logical approach of children. The setting is simple. The two are looking at a globe, probably in Shermy's house or in a room intended for study. Shermy, with a serious attitude, tries to explain to Charlie Brown the concept of the shape of the Earth. However, Charlie Brown's childlike logic makes the talk much lighter and lighthearted, and what follows is a dialogue that turns a serious concept into a comical and surprising reflection. Let's find out the details of this hilarious scene together. First vignette. Shermy starts the conversation in a didactic tone, pointing to the globe with one hand, and says, "So you see, this proves that our Earth is round like a ball." This sentence takes us back in time. In 1950, talking about the Earth as a sphere was not so commonplace. Mankind had just begun space exploration, and satellites, which would show real images of our planet for the first time, would arrive only 8 years later, with Sputnik in 1957. Modern science had already advanced, but the common imagination was still influenced by simple and intuitive representations, such as that of a globe in schools. Shermy's posture is that of someone who is explaining something important, with confidence and conviction. She clearly wants to impress Charlie Brown with this science lesson. Charlie Brown listens attentively, but already from here we can sense that a less than academic observation is maturing in his mind. His answer is in fact a question that breaks the serious atmosphere. Like a baseball? This question shows how Charlie Brown's reasoning is based on everyday experiences, referring to one of the most familiar objects for a child. Charles Schulz loved to portray children as small adults, capable of tackling serious issues with their own unique logic. This approach made the Peanuts innovative. They were not just stories about children, but reflections on the world through their eyes. Second vignette. Shermy, without losing the thread, promptly responds, "Sure, like a baseball." But soon after, Charlie Brown raises another question. Like a basketball? Here we see how Charlie Brown keeps comparing the Earth to sporting objects he knows well, pushing the conversation toward an increasingly playful tone. The globe almost seems to become a mere object for his imagination. Shermy, in spite of everything, maintains his serious attitude, trying to answer consistently. The baseball is a common object in the United States, a clear reference to the American culture of the time. In 1950, baseball was the national sport par excellence and a symbol of everyday life. Charlie Brown, whom we often see playing, or rather losing, baseball, demonstrates how his mind instinctively associates the shape of the Earth with something familiar. Third vignette. Shermy accepts the comparison and responds, "Sure, just like a basketball." However, this statement seems to destabilize Charlie Brown, who retorts with a surprised expression, "I don't believe it." This response marks the climax of humor. Charlie Brown is not questioning the fact that the Earth is round, but something much more practical. His exclamation leaves Shermy and the reader in suspense, curious about the real reason for his disbelief. In the 1950s, basketball was also gaining popularity in the United States, thanks to the rise of the NBA, founded only a few years earlier in 1946. These details make the dialogue between the two children even more connected to the cultural context of the time. Fourth vignette. Shermy, evidently confused, asks him, "Why?" And here comes the twist. Charlie Brown, with a serious but naive expression, replies, "No stitches." This punchline reverses the entire argument, turning a scientific lesson into a moment of pure comedy. Charlie Brown's mind associated the idea of a round ball with that of a baseball or basketball, which, however, always have clearly visible seams. For him, the absence of seams on Earth becomes the key detail that distinguishes it from a real ball. Charlie Brown applies his literal logic. For him, a ball must have seams, like those on a baseball. It is a seemingly insignificant detail, but in a child's mind it becomes the crux of the matter. This simplicity is at the heart of Schulz's humor, capable of turning a serious lesson into a moment of pure comedy. Schulz often took cues from his childhood and conversations with his 5 children to create authentic and funny dialogues. It would not be surprising to find out that this scene was actually born out of an observation by one of his children. And how do you interpret it? Let us know below in the comments.
If you enjoyed yourselves, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and activate the little bell to stay updated, and see you next, friends.